Good afternoon, YouTube. What's going on? It's Mesa back at it with some Destiny 2 news. So IGN's wrapping up their coverage for Destiny 2. Their first for the month of July was Destiny 2. That's why we saw so much stuff from IGN. And they finished it up today with an Ask Me Anything from Bungie. Now, I'm going to link it in the description, and we're going to go through it in this video. There's not a whole lot, but we do get some interesting things answered. So we're going to burn through them. I'm not going to go through every single one, just ones that I think are slightly interesting. Well, the first one's not so interesting, but I'll read it anyway. Is there any reason as to why you didn't add theater mode in Destiny 1, and will it be in Destiny 2? Or will it at least be available to do the sword glitch to make fan films? Mark Noseworthy says, D2 doesn't feature a theater mode. I don't know for certain if the sword glitch still functions. We've changed a lot of the code and content under the hood for how things work, including swords, all of which there are now many types. So notice he said many types, so hopefully swords will be a big factor in Destiny 2. I know I love using my Raise Lighter, Dark Drinker, and all sorts of stuff. Next question is, it's been mentioned a few times that Destiny 2 will be a lot easier to update than Destiny 1. How quick or frequent would this be? Mark Noseworthy says, we regularly patch Destiny 1 and remain committed again with Destiny 2. Wait, hold on, wait for the next sentence, guys. He goes, I think where we didn't meet our own expectations and that the community was with rich new content on a predictable schedule. We tried out a lot of different shapes and sizes in Destiny 1, and we're confident we have a really good offering in the pipe for Destiny 2. Players will always want more, and we're going to try as hard as we can to deliver. So you got to give him credit for at least acknowledging in D1 that we all pretty much complain that, hey, why can't they just go in there and patch things quickly? It obviously took a long time to get anything fixed in Destiny 1. Hopefully to be a little bit faster in Destiny 2. Next up, we get some clarification on the PS4 and Xbox One X. They get asked, will Destiny 2 support HDR or have any enhancements on the PS4 Pro and Xbox One X? Mark says, as you can see in the Destiny 2 beta, the PS4 Pro is already supporting dynamic 4K resolution. The Xbox One X ships after D2, so we don't have any announcements for how we're supporting it right now, but it is something we are interested in. In terms of HDR, we won't support HDR at D2 console launch. We're really excited about the feature. I own an HDR and want it badly too, he says, and very much want to see it arrive sometime post-launch, but I can't promise a date today. So it looks like HDR will be coming at some point, just not at launch. Next question. Dear Bungie, in earlier comments you mentioned that for the first time, cloud servers will be used for gameplay in the Destiny franchise. Can you please elaborate on how specifically the networking methodology of D2 would differentiate itself from the at times problematic netcode of Destiny 1? Mark says the code words blog post on the Bungie Weekly Update covers this better than I ever could. Now that was from 5/25/2017, this week at Bungie. I'll link that in the description too. Right in the middle is where they address things like dedicated servers, peer-to-peer, things PC, all sorts of stuff. I'll link it in the description. Now, two really quick answers to two really quick questions, but interesting questions nonetheless. Will our characters remain mute throughout the sequel? Luke Smith just says, yep. Are there any multi-passenger vehicles? Luke Smith says no. Well, we know that when you go to look at where your Sparrow would be, it doesn't say Sparrow there anymore. It says vehicles. So, I don't know, there might be other things besides Sparrows, but who knows? And as for our characters being mute, yep, no more voices anymore. Then again, I mean, do people really want to hear our Guardians talk? Let me know in the comment section. I mean, in Destiny 1, we heard like a line or two from our characters, but I don't think it's really that significant, but you guys let me know in the comment section. Real quick one here. With the resilience, recovery, and agility on the armor now, will the armor have a visual look that reflects the boost for it? Like, for example, high resilience, high heavy armor, high agility, sleeker, thinner armor, perhaps? Luke Smith just flat out says nope. Next up, they're asked, what are some of the changes you're making to the game as a result of the feedback from the beta? Now, this is what I want to hear right now. He goes, by the time the beta was live, the team had already been playing a pretty different version of PvE tuning from our couches. And he goes, grenades are more powerful, kinetic and energy weapon damage improvements, power ammo economy refactor. We also made tons and tons and tons of changes of varying sizes that is a function of closing down a video game. We're almost done. In the wake of the beta, we've made a few changes that will increase super regeneration across the game. Now, that is just music to my ears because I feel like a PvE, and I'm going to do a whole review of what I thought of the beta sometime over the weekend, but then the lack of supers in PvE and just abilities in general, and PvP is a whole other topic, but for PvE, for me at least, it was not fun. I mean, when we go into PvE, a lot of the fun, or at least for me at least, is all chaining supers off each other and just destroying waves of enemies and taking down bosses with these supers. So really glad to hear that. Next up, he's asked, how much time do we have between launch and the first raid dropping? And Luke Smith just says, like I said before, it's IGN first, not IGN everything. But we did hear in a previous interview a long time ago that it was going to be on the scale of how like the Taken King was. When the Taken King came out, whatever time frame that the King's Fall came out during the Taken King, that's more than likely going to be the time frame for Destiny 2's raid. Next question, was there anything that the community missed in Destiny 1 that Bungie snuck into the game? Luke says, on one hand, probably. On the other hand, probably not. It just depends on if you're left or right-handed. All right, read into that one. Last one, will PvP and PvE be balanced separately or as one? Luke Smith says PvP and PvE are balanced separately in many ways. Things like outgoing damage across weapon archetypes, ability, and melee damage are all different. So I think what you're actually asking is, will the combat rhythm for Destiny 2 diverge across PvE and PvP? The answer to that is no. In Destiny, you build your character with a bunch of powers and abilities, and we hope a combat rhythm that is consistent across the game. So that's all the questions that it looks like was asked in this. I thought it was going to be a lot more, but some interesting things nonetheless. Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section. Footage in the background, just us farting around on Nessus, well, in the I was going to say the non-strike zone, but yeah, just trying to build up supers. You can see they're barely building up. Because I want to do a whole video on hunters. We really need to talk about hunters in terms of the gunslinger and arc strider. Got some interesting opinions. I want to get your thoughts and opinions. Anyway, that's it, guys. Hashtag made it to the end. Do me a favor, guys. Drop a like at this video only if you see fit. Follow me on Twitter at Mesa Sean. Check out my stream. Usually you know it's on YouTube, and that's it. I'm out of here like Vladimir.